Hey, well, today I want to talk about keys to lasting relationship. To me, the most beautiful pictures of love is not those that came out from Hollywood, Hong Kong wood, Bollywood, Korea wood, or whatever wood they may be from. But to me, the most beautiful pictures of love are this. You know, couples who've been married for a long time, though they may age, all the youthfulness are gone, but they're still very much in love with each other. Hugging each other in the park and walking hand in hand in the street. And to me, this is one of the most powerful pictures, hugging each other tightly as they walk the street here. You know, I wish for all our relationship to last forever. As long as we have breath, let's learn to love one another. The divorce rate in the world is scary. Did you know that 42% of first marriages in the world today will end in a divorce? 42%. That means almost 50%. 10 couples going into, to register a marriage to get married, to be married. Almost five couples out of the 10 will end in divorce. As far as second marriages are concerned, 60% will end in divorce, and third marriages, 73% will fail. Well, and the average age of a person getting married today is 30 years old. Years before remarriage is 3 years. That means after divorce, they waited 3 years before they got remarried. And divorces per hour, 100 divorces per hour. That's a scary statistic. Now, on the other hand, when we are able to maintain great relationships, great friendship, you know what it will result in? It will result in greater health. You are healthier when you have good, loving relationship. You have more resilience. You can fight your stress better when you are in a great relationship. And you know what? You can live longer when you are in a good relationship. You recover from sickness faster too. It's a result of having great relationship or having a good love marriage, and you have more successful kids when your marriage are in good state. These are the benefits. In almost every psychological studies, they will find these same benefits of people who are indulged in great friendship and or in love relationship. 1 John chapter 4, verse 21 says, He has commanded us. He said, He has given us this command, not so much as a suggestion or an opinion. He says, He has given us this command. Anyone who loves God must. What I just said? Must. Not try to, not, try. No, must love their brothers and sisters. So it's a command for us to love one another. You know what? It is a command for us to make sure that our relationship with one another, whether it is through a church or through a spousal relationship or whatever, or colleague or business partnership, as long as we are in a thing, as long as we're serving together, as long as we have a relationship, we must love one another so that we can maintain this lasting relationship that God has called us to. There's some misunderstanding about love. So people misunderstood love as infatuation. Or I spell infatuation wrong without the C there. Well, infatuation is emotions. It's a good feeling that when you meet someone you're interested in and the person is showing interest in you, then there's a lot of birds that's flying around. That's infatuation. But infatuation won't last. That's not love. That's like showing interest. That's a good feeling that you think you found someone. But that's infatuation. Some people misunderstood love as expectation. So if I have set my expectation, that person who loved me must meet my expectation. No, that's not love. That's not love. That's entitlement. And some people misunderstood love as an emotions. Infatuation is emotions. Love is not. Love is a verb. Love is a doing thing. You must commit to a point of sacrificing yourself for the person that you love. It is not an emotion. It is an active action word. some people misunderstood love as having immediate gratification, jumping into the bed, have sexual relationship just because you feel that you are in love with this person. No, love means we need to wait for the right time, and that we are ready to commit ourselves and not get ourselves into unnecessary trouble. Love is never automatic. For those who have been married for a long while, you know that love is not automatic. It's just because you love, everything will just flow smoothly. Just like those Enid Blyton book about the famous five, and they are happy ever after. No such things. You got to work hard to have that happily ever after story. You got to work hard. Okay, not work hard, work extremely hard, to make sure that you will live happily together thereafter. When we look for a partner, whether it's a spousal partner or even, a business partner or ministry partners and all that, we look for, the attributes such as the physicality. Is the person good looking? Is it tall, dark, handsome? Okay, I neither have all those. Well, we first look at those physicality. I think there's nothing wrong in, if you're looking for a spouse, you look for someone who is decent looking, someone who is healthy. And also we look for the personality of the person, make sure that the person has a pleasant personality and also have some intelligence. Not just some. Maybe some of us are looking more beyond some intelligence, and also some social status. Maybe financially they are stable and all that. These are the four factors that we mostly attracted to first. But these are all transient factors because they will be gone. Our physicality will we get old, our health would be taken away from us, all the good looks will begin to sag, and our personality can change over time. Intelligence, maybe it can be taken away from us when we start losing our memories as we age. Social status, when we lose our job, guess what? Bang! All of a sudden, like during this COVID-19, many went bankrupt. And so when all these are gone, so what happened to the relationship? So yes, it is okay to look for these transient factors, but it's more important to look at the unseen of the person than what is seen. So just like any product that's before they've been sold, they have to be rigorously tested. And so we have to test the person to make sure that they have this, they have what we call the unseen factors, which will help to last a relationship. A phone that's been set up like the iPhone is beautiful on the outside. It takes a lot out of the designer to design something as beautiful as the phone, whatever phone that you have, But what's more important is what's inside the phone. What's inside the phone will make the phone good, or will make the phone last. And also they need to stress test the phone to make sure that it can endure certain level of test. And this is what we need to do. Just because they have this practice doesn't mean that they will become our partner. When I fall in love, it will be forever. And there's another song, love will keep us together. Well, okay, not so yet. Okay, you have all this, you fall in love, that's infatuation. The stress test is when you find the key factors that will help to last your relationship. For instance, let's test the person on the spirituality. You know what? Same yoke will last a relationship. When we are in a relationship, whether it's a business relationship or spousal relationship, and when we are not equally yoked, it will spell trouble. And so when you find someone with all these four physical attributes, good for you. But this is what John said in 1 John chapter 4, verse 1. Do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God. Because many false prophets have gone out into the world. I can appear as someone who's good and maybe not good looking, but good in many other ways. And then you feel like you want to trust me, but you first have to test my spirit, whether I have the right spirit or not. Here in verse 2, it says, this is how you recognize the Spirit of God. Every spirit that acknowledges that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh is from God. So the spirit To be tested is whether we believe that Jesus Christ is God. And he came down 2,000 years ago to die for our sins. And if we profess that, we then follow through that with the lifestyle that's been changed, yes, then we can test the spirit. You see, the word inspire comes from the Latin word in spirit. You got to be in spirit to be able to inspire others. What kind of spirit do we have? So in order for us to inspire our loved ones, our people that we are working with, our colleagues, our spouse, our ministry partners, do we inspire them? If we want to inspire them, we got to be in spirit. The word spirit means pneuma. Pneuma means air, like pneumatic drill, pneumatic pump. This basketball will function well when it is filled with pneuma or air. So even though you bounce the ball as hard as you can on the floor, it will bounce back up. The harder you bounce it, the harder it will bounce back higher. But when it's deflated, when it doesn't have any air, no spirit. And this is what happened here. There's no bouncing back. And so we need to test the spirit to make sure that the person has the spirit of God. Because even though they have all these other factors, they have the spirit in them. You know what? It can help to last that relationship. Second key factors, in spite of the fact that they may have all the physicality, the personality, the intelligence, and the social status, well, they need to have spirituality within them, the right spirit. We need to test the right spirit, and then they need to maintain the sense of sobriety. Sobriety has specific meaning with specific context, such as in the culture of many substance use recovery program. So they said you got to maintain sobriety or be sober so that you are dry up from your alcoholism or your drug abuses. But in some schools of psychology, sobriety means the achievement of life balance. That we're not given to emotional reaction or overly emotional reaction. In 1 John chapter 4, verse 4, it says, you are children from God. You are from God and have overcome them, every obstacles, every test, and whatsoever, because the one who is in you is greater than the one who is in the world. How do we maintain our sobriety, our emotional balance, that we were not given to a lot of anger and all this aggression and shouting and yelling? Well, the test is to test the person's spirit, and the spirit can be tested when they can be shown in sobriety. That when you know that God is greater than anything that's in the world, any problem in the world, if you believe that Jesus Christ is Lord and He's greater than anything that is in the world, then you are able to maintain that calmness, the composure, and the confidence. Maybe we are not calm, we are not composed, we are not confident because we don't believe that God is greater. All things are possible. He can help us to overcome everything. But because if we don't believe in this, then calmness, composure, and confidence, it's been thrown out of the window. We're no longer able to maintain that sense of sobriety. You want to make the marriage work, we have to learn to be sober. We have to learn to maintain that composure, the calmness, the confidence that all things will work out for good for those who love God. And that in every conflict, in every crisis that we are in this together. We can maintain our confidence in God and we can overcome. We shall overcome. Now, John in first chapter, John said in verse 20, says, whoever claims to love God and yet hates a brother and sister is a liar. You cannot say you love God and yet you have that in sobriety when you are unable to maintain your emotional maturity and you hated another brother, you curse the person, then that is not from God. In this case, there's no maintenance of sobriety. You know what? When we start hating ourselves and others, and we start talking bad about people, we character assassinate them, then that is not going to maintain that relationship. Between you and I, we must always maintain the healthy outlook of each other, and that we are able to maintain that composure in spite of the fact that there may be times, there will come rough times, but in spite of those rough times, we shall overcome because we can think logically, we can think spiritually, we can think with a sense of sobriety. In choosing of elders, Titus said this. Paul said this in the book of Titus, that as for you, speak the things which are proper of sound doctrine, that the older man be sober. And the word sober also means to be able to have self-control. So you see, when you are angry with something, when you don't agree with certain things, you are sober. You have the ability to control yourself. And that's very important in maintaining any relationship. You say, older man, be sober, be reverent, be temperate, sound in faith, in love, and in patience. Older women, likewise, be sober, that they be reverent in behavior, not slanderers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things. So older man, be sober, older women, be sober. And the younger people, exhort the young men to be sober-minded. Not to be so impulsively going into a relationship and jumping onto the bed just because you think you'll fall in love with a person. Now that is too impulsive. Impulsiveness and sobriety don't walk along very well. So in spite of the fact that you may have found someone who has good looks, is beautiful or handsome, and seems to have good personality, good intelligence, good social status, nothing wrong with all this, but you need to check on the key factors, check on the spirituality, make sure that they are able to maintain a sense of sobriety, that they are able to be calm, have that composed person, has a sense of composure and confidence disposition. So key factors: spirituality, sobriety, and the willingness to sacrifice. Love is not emotions. Love is about sacrifice. When you love something, you sacrifice for yourself for it. When you love someone, you sacrifice yourself for that person. That's what love is all about. It's not just a good feeling. Now, God has exemplified that love. This is how God showed his love among us. He sent his one and only Son into the world that we might live through him. John chapter 4, verse 10, it's not 9 here, it's verse 10. This is love. This is not that we love God, but that he loved us and sent his Son as an atoning sacrifice for our sins. God so loved us that he sent his Son to die for us, so that you and I can be redeemed, and that you and I can belong to the family called the family of God. That's what sacrifice is all about. Commitment equals sacrifice. When we commit ourselves to work together and serve together in the church, work together and serve together in a ministry, and all in this case, in some of you, when you commit yourself on that wedding day and when you say the vow, when you commit yourself to one another, that is sacrifice. That requires sacrifice. Love equals commitment. Commitments equal sacrifice, without which marriage may not last, ministry partners may not last. And it is why 42% of people going into marriage will end in divorce, because there's not enough of sacrifice. So let's take, for instance, a husband and wife situation here. Husband sacrifice and the wife sacrifice. If both husband and wife are not willing to sacrifice, then the relationship will become toxic. The reason, because it's for me, it's about me. Well, if the husband is willing to sacrifice, but the wife isn't willing to sacrifice, then you end up in an imbalanced relationship. So the wife is taking, the husband is giving. How long can the husband give all the time? Now, if the wife is the one sacrificing, the husband is not willing to sacrifice, guess what? It will also end up in an imbalanced structure or imbalanced relationship. If the wife is giving, and the husband is taking all the time, then how long can this last? So with husband and wife sacrifice, then it will be a balanced relationship. This relationship will last long. Here, it is about entitlement. When both refuse to sacrifice, so both now feel entitled to take. It is my turn to take. So entitlement, we all know, kills relationship. Look, you can find someone with good looks, with good personality, good intelligence, good social status, but if they don't have the right spirituality, they are unable to maintain the composure and have this sense of sobriety, and not willing to sacrifice themselves for this relationship or this partnership, it may not last long. And this is what John is trying to tell us. So you got to have the spirituality, you got to have the right sobriety, you got to be willing to sacrifice, and that you must feel secure about yourself. Insecurity also kills every relationship. This is how love is made complete among us, so that we may have confidence on this day, on the day of judgment. In this world, we are like Jesus. So what do we mean? What does it mean that in this world we are like Jesus? We need to love like Jesus, because there is no fear in love. Jesus doesn't fear in loving the unlovable, but perfect love drives out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. The one who fears is not made perfect, not made perfect in love. And so when we are insecure, guess what? When something goes wrong, we are threatened. And when we are threatened, there's a lot of fear in us. Fear, there is no fear in love. If we love someone, we must feel secure. We must be able to trust the person that we love. If we are in business partnership or ministry partnership with that person, we need to, maintain that trust by, having that security within ourselves. First, we need to be secure of ourselves before we can learn to trust others. We must trust ourselves in order to trust others. In any organization that we work, there's always a hierarchy. And you know what? All of us want to climb the corporate ladder to be the top dog. And perhaps most of us, or myself, are at this level. But if one of my colleagues is being promoted to the next level, right, it's fine for most of us. But there are some who will feel threatened. Why? Why is he promoted better, more than me? So suddenly we're supposed to love this person, and now this person become a threat. This person become an object of envy or jealousy. And then we begin to talk about this person. We begin to gossip about this person. And not just the people at this level, the people at the level that he was promoted to will also feel threatened. Why is he promoted? He was my, supervisee. I supervise him. He had to report to me. Now he's at my level. And you know what? He will become the talk of the town of these people who have been threatened by his promotion. All these people at the top may feel, I'm safe, he's still my subordinate. But when this person, for instance, is being promoted because he's so creative, so intelligent, so good with ethics, and he worked so hard, the boss began to promote him to level up. These people here became insecure and became threatened by his promotion. Now, this guy here has been promoted, is the talk of the town. Everybody is now attacking him because there's no way he's going to be up there. When he's up there, that means it costs a place for one of them, because they cannot be promoted as long as he's there. And so they will send their Scud missile and all the bombs towards him to attack him. This is called politics. The word politics is made of two compound words. Poly means many. Tick is the insect that suck your blood. Ticks. Yeah, politics. This is how politics happen. And this is even churches has politics. So when a person is being attacked wholesale, from north, south, east, west, from every angle, guess what? He will come to a point where we have a breakdown, and he start attacking everybody. And so hurt people, as we mentioned last week. Insecurity cause us to feel threatened by our environment, by every little movement around us. We feel that there's a threat. And because there's a threat, we feel vulnerable. And when we feel vulnerable, we begin to attack. Once we start attacking, what good will it do to any of our relationships? Hurt people. We need to feel secure. Wherever we may be, we need to feel secure. Remember, he that's in us is greater than he that's in the world. Any movement here doesn't matter as long as God doesn't move away from me. God is not removed from me. Anything that's movement around the world, they will move outside of my control. But I have God who is in control of everything within my life. Security creates trust. Trust creates peace of mind. When we trust another person, we trust a partner, a spouse, a business partner, or a ministry partner, we have the peace of mind. We will not be thinking, what will he be doing now? What is she trying to do to me? When we have the peace of mind, we're able to give love. 1 John 4:19 says, we love because he first loved us. So when God loves us, it's an outpouring of love to give upon others. So we must feel secure within ourselves that we feel loved. We are being loved. Loved people love people. Look, if our vessel of love is empty, we cannot give out love, or everything that we give out is out of the emptiness of our well. And sometimes we give out, fake love, but it doesn't last. And that's why it's important to feel, make the person, test the person to feel that they are secure, they are loved, because love people, hurt people because they have nothing to give. You know what? We can receive the outpouring of blessings from God, outpouring of love from God, till it overflows. When our well is full, it overflows out of us so that we can be a blessing to others. Jesus said, the thief comes to kill, steal, and destroy. But I have come that you may have life. And life what? To the full. When your life is up to the full, it will be a blessing to us. So fill yourself with the love of God and then be secure with it. That it's okay to give up love, because God's love in me is abundance. It's like the Niagara Falls. It keeps pouring and pouring and pouring so that I can keep giving and giving and giving. Okay, these are temporary factors. That's why we call it transient factors. Physicality, personality, intelligence, social status can go. Now, what if all these are gone? Do we still love the person? Are we still able to maintain that relationship? What if this person has grown older? Will we still love the person? Will we still, look up to the person? Will we still want to work with the person? That's why it's called transient. It's temporary. What is more permanent are the person's spirituality, the person's sobriety, the person's willing to sacrifice, the person's security. All these are more secure factors. All these are more permanent factor. These are everlasting factors because God gives us all this. God pour his spirituality upon us. God gives us his power so that he that's in us is greater than he's in the world. You cannot remove that when God give it to us. And then God give us the example of love that he keeps sacrificing for us. For anyone who's been born today, God loves the person and had died for the person even before the person knew that he will be sinning against God. And we have to have the security that because God loves us, we can love others. So these are the lasting factors. These are the temporary factors. So, hey, if you found someone who has all these four, plus all these other everlasting key factors, good for you. You have both, best of both worlds. Woo! But if you found someone who has this, but don't have this, ding, 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 warning sign, ding, 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 warning sign. All right. So in spite of having, even if they have this, we must help the person to grow into this. All of us. Some of us may not have all this, like we may not have all this, but as long as we have this, whoever that we come in contact with, whoever accepted us for, to be a partner, you know what, we'll do our best to last that relationship. In our church, in our ministry, in our marriage, you know what, we need these factors. More important than having these factors here. These are good factors. You can have this, but if you don't have this, then any relationship that you are in will not last. You got to have this, you have this, plus this, good. Then, your relationship will last. Yeah. If you have found someone who has all these factors and have all these factors, congratulations, you are blessed. You are so blessed. And for the rest of us, if I don't have this, but I have this, you know what? I can find myself being responsible in any relationship that I am found in. I pray that you will also be the same. Hey, it's time to love one another richly, love one another to the point where that we are able to maintain an everlasting relationship. That in our church, you and I, in our ministry, you and I will continue to grow old together. I love to see marriages that will end, that will grow old, and then and that they still love one another. This is a beautiful picture. This is a beautiful picture of friends growing old together, going to the park and talk about the good old days. Not necessarily about the good old days, and talk about, hey, what else can we do to serve God? Can we do better? Can we just like Caleb at 85 years old, he went to his partner called Joshua and told Joshua, I'm 85 years old. Give me the mountain. I'm going to fight for God, So, hey, this is a beautiful picture of friendship. I pray that you and I will be friends forever. BFF, best friend forever. Woo-hoo. Well, these are the keys to lasting relationship. I pray that we learn from what John has written in the book of First John chapter 4 in our study together. May God bless you, and may God continue to guard over you and protect you. See you again soon. God bless.